Night, Aaron.
Good evening. Good night, Dave. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. Welcome to Dimebag Darren World Headquarters in the corner of my living room, and once again, a little bit of a visit. Hopefully, we'll have some fun as I put back together my streaming system. You see, I had planned to show you guys how I put together a streaming system, but my dogs decided that that wouldn't be very cool. So they thought they'd cut in just now and let us all know what they think of the whole thing. That besides the point, I don't know that much about StreamYards and OBS. I know certain things, just enough to be dangerous. And in the process of being dangerous, I deleted some of my own stuff, which is okay, because together I'm hoping to show you what we do, and sort of step by step too. So, hey Jack, thank you for coming. Thug, of course, thank you for being here. The first thing you do, if you want to stream, is download StreamYards, which you probably already know. Go to StreamYard.com, sign up, get the for free membership. It's going to give you 20 hours worth of streaming every month, and that will get you started. And that's the software you should use. There are all kinds of other ones. They're all very similar. Not all of them have 20 hours worth of training streaming. Though they have other features, they don't have 20 hours. So start with StreamYard, despite the fact that there are others similar to it. Now, right away, start with the idea that you're going to use StreamYards and OBS together, because this is how they work the best. Okay? In the end, I should be able to show you that. We'll see how that works out. Right now, I've got my StreamYards open, and I do not have OBS open. Hi, Dave. You would download OBS Studio. Don't download any other version of OBS, and don't download it from any other place. Just search out OBS Studio, Open Broadcasting Software. Go directly to their website. That's what you want to download. You know those super busy streams people have, like everything's dancing across the screen and everybody's making donations and whatnot, and there's a heist going on. All of that stuff is Streamlabs OBS. It's another company that's taken the basis of OBS, the basic program, and then added a lot of stuff to it. Just complicates the matters. If you know how to use OBS first, then if you really want to use Streamlabs OBS and some of the stuff that is exclusive to it, though I don't know what that would be, because I think you can do most things with regular OBS Studio, but I think Streamlabs, some people like it better. Let's just say it that way and move on. Okay, so yeah, so as I said, I happen to delete pretty much everything. So I still have OBS installed on the machinery, and I'm just going to launch it on the other screen here. And then I'm going to share that screen with you. Okay. So when you first download OBS, it's going to look a lot like this, most likely. Now, down here in the audio mixer part, I've got desktop audio and microphone, but also here are the mutes. And I have those muted because they're not going to be part of anything we're going to do. So in the end, that audio mixer thing could be removed. Hey, Heavy Meadow. Well, I was going to do an OBS equals, or OBS plus StreamYard equals fun video for the fam, the collecting, finding, detecting community. And then I kind of deleted my own OBS thing, so I got to rebuild it anyway. So voila, here I am. And this is about starting streaming from pretty much nothing, but starting with StreamYards and OBS together right away. Don't waste time with just StreamYards. Just get used to You can if I'm lucky, and I'm watching the questions, so let's work together. If you've got a question, I'm going to try to be like directly on them. So that being said, I said here, the audio mixer is not something we're going to need, so just totally disregard it. Afterwards, I'll show you some other stuff about it, but for what you're going to want to do, you don't need it, and you won't be using it, so don't worry about it. Over here, we've got the first scene that when you first fire up OBS, you're going to have this one button. I had to rename it, and I don't remember if you open it up from scratch whether it says scene 1 or it's got a scene with the number 1 or whatever it is, but it's a generic place to start, and it's going to be there when you open your version of OBS. Now, the first thing we need to do, we got to be on a computer that clearly has a webcam on it, and I have 2 plugged in. They're both $30 Amazon webcams, so you know we are definitely, and I promise you, definitely not dealing with anything special here. There we go. And the scene switching I just did are just buttons in StreamYard, so no magic going on there. The buttons, there's 7 of them. This is button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The ones that didn't change only change when other people are there with you. So you have choices. I'll go back to this one and continue. So that's nothing to, there's no trickery going on there, I promise you. All right. So going back to StreamYards, and with at least one webcam plugged in, we're gonna set a scene up here. We've got this scene set up called scene 1. We're gonna disregard this, and I'm gonna just minimize that so it's not important. In fact, I'll move it over. So now we're gonna deal with scene 1, and we're gonna add an element to the scene, and that's gonna be a video capture device, a la a camera. Okay? We have no existing cameras being used in any other scenes right now, so there's nothing in the lower box. Okay, Titus, he's huge in Japan, very huge in Japan. He's very, very huge in Japan. Konnichiwa. Okay, so there's no existing to add. So we're going to stick with the top, create a new one, hit the button, and now it's looking for USB cameras. Now I told you I have 2. I have one that faces down on my desk, which shows you my beat up hand because I have a kitten. And I'll switch to the other one. Oh, I might not be able to. Let's just see what happens when I try. No, not OBS Virtual Cam. What a dummy. USB. Yeah, see, because it's being used right now by StreamYards. It's not available to me right now to turn on. So let's pretend we've only got one camera hooked up, and it's this one. I activate it, and there it is. And this is going to be so not flattering it at all. No, not a gut shot. Not doing it. That's brutal. Okay, so here I am. That's what you're going to deal with. Jack, Galman, Kay, Titus. Hey, I'm going to put together a book of toonies that has the commemoratives and that. Now that has $62 coins in it, so I mean in face alone it's 120, but it's one of those commemorative books again, so if anybody's interested in that, let me know. It's a basically complete collection or close to it of Canadian $2 coins that are commemorative. So Jack got a quarter one off me in the past. I think he liked it. The $2 one unfortunately costs a little more. We're dealing with $2 coins, but you know, some people, they want that. So we'll see. That being said, oh, nice. Okay, let's go over there. Here. Just adjustment here. Okay. Alrighty. So now I don't know if I explained that well. So let me just click on this and remove it. We're going to pull that camera out. So we're back to scene 1. We're adding something to scene 1. And what we're going to add is a video capture device. We have no other existing video capture device, so we hit OK for a new one. We pick USB camera. There it is. It looks good. There's not really a lot to do. I think if you had a fancier camera, there'd be some settings to set here, but I just rock with what comes up and hit the button. Okay, so there it is. Camera's operative. Now, that's fine. You got a camera going, and it's in OBS, but it's not in StreamYard. It's in OBS. Now, there's a way to obviously to take care of that, and we're going to get there. But now I want to show you the two most powerful commands in OBS. The only two that you will basically need to know for the most part. Now, the scene that you're looking at in OBS, if I put my mouse on it and click, it's mobile. I can move it around. If it goes beyond the frame, you can see those diagonal lines. That's just saying, hey, some of the picture is over here where no one's seeing it. So the picture itself, like I say, mobile. If you go to the corner, like you do for other Windows things, the pointer goes to that double pointer you're familiar with, the one on the diagonal. So click that and hold, and now you're resizing that picture. You're resizing the whole thing to any size that suits you. It's not changing the framing, as you can see, just the overall size. And that's important when you want multiple things on your screen, and when you want to build a scene with a banner at the top and something down at the bottom. You're going to want to be able to resize things and, of course, make them portable. So this is all about portable and size. The thing now is, what happens if that picture, this whole picture, all the way from this side here all the way to this side here, is more picture than you want? Or maybe that's a situation for up and down. Well, that's called cropping. And that's the next powerful tool that you need to know to make, this happen. I put a coin there. I'm going to take my mouse, once again, to the corner and let that double arrow come up. But this time, the key I'm going to hold is Alt, the one either side of your space bar generally. Before I do anything, and while that thing is still showing the two arrows right there, press and hold the Alt and don't let it up. Now, get those arrows, press and hold the Alt. Now click the mouse button down, and you've got something different going on here. Now you're changing the framing of the shot. You're cropping. You can take this corner and crop it in. Same thing with this one, crop it in. And anytime you see the green border, you know there's more of the actual picture to go. You could widen it, you could outcrop it, uncrop it. I'm not sure what the term is for uncropping. But remember that other powerful tool? And now we can make that whatever size we need to. Of course, we're not getting any cooperation from the focus. It's not particularly good. And these little webcams, they won't be particularly good. They don't have, high quality optics, honestly. But for many things, they'll be fine. And in fact, for this kind of stuff, I use my cell phone, and we'll talk about that later. This would just be, you wouldn't crop it in like this, and you would use it to show off some simple things on your table, maybe some rolls you're opening. So once again, I'm going to make this smaller so I can handle it easier. Go to the corner, press and hold the Alt button. Now I can change the cropping. And I'm just going to open that, get the cropping. Open that right back up to the full shot, and I know it's the full shot because it's got the red border, and that's it. So now I have room where I could, show you, well, this is the flashlight, and we're here looking at the flashlight, and well, that's where the battery is. That's the battery for the flashlight. And then when you put the battery in the flashlight, it tends to have the ability to light up. You can see that it's got light going on there. Very good. It's a high quality thing. You're going to love it. Hang on, let me just try that. Yeah, I'll give that a whirl. Why not? Okay. So that's fine. You've seen how to use a camera in OBS. But right now, my face on this camera is still coming through StreamYard set up as the StreamYard camera. Know what I mean by that? Just before we leave OBS behind for a moment, note down here on the right, there are some different choices. This one right here says Start Virtual Camera. That's what you got to click. That's the heart of this whole thing, is that we're going to use OBS as a virtual camera. And we're also not going to use OBS for any audio. So bait the hook, thank you for coming by, sir. So just don't worry about anything that's going on with any of the audio meters. They're just not part of what we're doing today, and you won't need them. So anyways, back over here to the virtual camera, click on that, and then it'll say stop virtual camera on it, which you don't want to do. We're going to move on now because we don't need that anymore. Okay, so let's see how this works. Just remove that, and okay, so disregard the triple, quadruple, infinity screen in the middle. And let's just look at some setup stuff together. All right. So that's the settings I use. That's the settings that pretty much come with it, I think. For camera, here is where you decide what camera you're using, and this is where you make a very important decision. And you're not going to use USB video device, which is currently giving you this beautiful picture of the StreamYard duck. No, you're not using that. You're going to change this to OBS Virtual Camera. And as soon as you do, the screen goes black and you think you've done something wrong, and then yet there's that picture from before that OBS is handling, and that camera that we set up earlier, that we have full control over, and that we can do what we want with. It's our, you know what it is, I'm not going to say, but it is one of our, you know what I'm saying? So, now, when we go to audio, you're still going to just use the same audio that you would have used if StreamYard was the only thing you were using. The default microphone for your system, or if your system is really special and you have to make a different choice here, then a different choice. But try each one of them until when you're talking you see a green bouncing going on here, so you know that your audio is coming through. It's going to be one of these things in the drop down, and depending on how many things you've got connected to your computer, you'll have different choices. Hopefully default will be the one that works easily for you. If default doesn't work, that means there's a setting in your Windows, in your sounds, that could be adjusted if you wanted default to be the answer here. And in speaker, well, you should be wearing headphones or earbuds if you're going to be on anybody else's show. But if you're going to be alone like I am, and I don't even know why I've got the things on right now, it's a force of habit, you do not need to wear any kind of headphones. You can just be a la carte, if you know what I mean. And if you're not going to be running speakers, don't have echo cancellation on. You don't need it. That's only to try to help people who must use speakers. Don't worry about stereo audio, and you can automatically let it adjust the mic volume. It's probably pretty good at that, so I would just go ahead and keep that clicked. Me, I have a lot of extra stuff here, so I control my own mic volume, and as you can see, I got it left up over here at 168. Wait a second. Much better, 169. Anyway, so we're not going to talk about green screen. We're not going to do much for guests. Yeah, we're just going to move on. Experiment with that on your own. This is about getting OBS and StreamYards working together. So once again, it's all about this selection, OBS Virtual Camera. We're going to get out of here now. And we're going to go back over. We're going to go back over to OBS. He says. Okay, so that's the coin. All right, let me just. That's this one, right? Yes, it is. Okay, so now, meow. Hang on, I have to think this through. I still need to show you OBS. Okay, stop that. Share screen. Okay, good. That will work. There we go. Okay, so back in the world of OBS where we've got our camera, as you can see the one we're manipulating with our mouse, we're going to want to add a camera that like faces us. So once again, we're going to hit the plus. We're going to add video capture device. We're not going to use the existing one because it's a picture of this coin sitting there on my table. So we're going to add a new one. And let's see here. It's not that one. We need to change it to this one. Deactivate. There we go. So now we have the second camera in a box of its own as well. So of course, now we can do anything we want with both of these, right? When it comes to maybe grabbing the cropping on this, making it more of a square, maybe. Maybe like that, putting it down in the corner here, you know, and maybe the vanity is high with this one. Okay, so now we have two elements on the screen, me and camera whatever, one, let's say, camera one, sir, and then the other camera down here on the table. This camera on the table picture is falling behind the me picture. You see these two things right here, the list? Grab the one from the bottom, click and hold, and drag it to the top, let it go. These are also show you the layers of the things that are on the screen. So as you adjust the layers, some things will be on top of other things, and in this case, this is now on top of the thing that's below it. When I say this, you see this little eye? That's the on-off switch. So we're talking about this image being on top of this image. And I'm pretty sure you follow there. How many cameras can somebody download on a laptop? Okay, so we're not doing any downloading per se. You're just connecting cameras to a laptop. A laptop's going to have a certain number of USB plugs available to it because most cameras are going to be USB of one kind or another. You'll have a limit in terms of how many cameras you can connect because of that, okay? Then, yeah, that's good. If you've got a reasonably good laptop, you will have more than one USB controller on the motherboard of the laptop. The more USB controllers on the motherboard, the more things you would be able to plug in. HD pictures are pretty high bandwidth. So if you've got one controller, you might have problems plugging in more than one HD camera or two, or maybe the third one might give you problems. It's hard to say. But if your laptop has more than one USB controller, then, you know, two cameras, maybe even up to four could be possible. It depends on the hardware a little bit. So without knowing a little bit about the laptop involved, it's really hard to say what it would be capable of. But two cameras, I think, would be reasonable. I would try a couple of webcams from who knows where, whoever you know that's got one that will just unplug it for you and let you plug it in and see what happens. But that's where I would go with that. My computer is a really old computer that is not modern in any way. Most people's computers are better than the one that I'm currently using, and it handles two webcams, though I have to restart it every now and then. So it's not perfect about running 2 webcams, I'll tell you that. So, okay. We are back from HP from Walmart. Well, again, that doesn't tell a person anything really. You know, it's about the configuration of the machine. So, like again, you own it. The thing to do is get a couple of webcams, plug them in, and do what I've showed you to do so far. Get 2 cameras up and running at the same time, so you can, you know, so you can basically let OBS deal with your cameras, and then make that picture your picture in StreamYard. So when you're all alone by yourself in StreamYards, it's like you've got control of the whole frame. As soon as you bring on guests, you'll have control of your square ultimately, and of course everybody else's, because you'll be able to just like kick them out as necessary. But you know, so here, let's go on to next thing that I think is important. I showed you what I call the me cam, right? So everybody's going to need one of those. And then that's, if you think about it, that's on top of my monitor. Think of it as being there. Now I have another webcam. I mounted it to the underside of my monitor, and I just swiveled it down so I can look down onto my desk where my hands are. So on the top of my monitor there's a, well, never mind, show you. Anyways, while we're there, here's another nice coin that came my way. I'll be showing you in a moment. You can't tell what it is or enjoy it right now because I don't have the right kind of cam, but I'm going to get it. And I'm going to get it in the form of my cell phone. OBS, for OBS, there's a great little program called DroidCam OBS. And if you just want to try it, you can get it, and it costs you nothing. It has a little DroidCam OBS that goes across the screen here, and it's easy to kind of look past. But for the free version, that stays there, but all the functionality is there, so you can try it. No, Jack, if you've got 2 USB webcams, you simply plug them in, and the computer knows what they are right away, identifies them. Windows 11 and Windows 10 is smart enough to figure that out. There's no software that needs to be downloaded when you plug in a USB webcam. It's smart enough. When it comes to this, the software is something you download, you install to the folder related to OBS. There's some instructions regarding that, but first thing to do is get yourself an Android phone. This is what this is. I don't know how you would do it with, I'm showing you how I do it. Hey, 710, thank you for coming by. I don't know how to do it with an Apple phone, so whatever. You got your DroidCam OBS, you got it on the phone, and you have it on sorry. You have your DroidCam OBS on your phone, and you have it on OBS. There's a thing to install for Windows, and there's a app to install on your phone to make it all work properly. So getting back to my sharing here, share the screen, share that screen, go back here, hit that button, do not fear, add to stream, yes my dear, and now, see, and click on things is the other thing, right? Okay, so anyways, you got the full screen OBS going on there. Now I'm going to add, because again, with OBS you put a piece of software on the phone, an app. You download a piece of software to your Windows computer, which installs in OBS. And next thing you know, you've got a choice here of DroidCam OBS. It's right there, the blue one, this one. I click on it, and I'm not currently using any DroidCam OBS, so I'm just going to add a new one. Okay, so on my phone, it tells me that it's currently using Wi-Fi IP 192.168.178. Okay, so in this box that's empty, I'm going to put that number 192.168.1.78. So the camera is telling me, hey, I'm connected. By the way, it has to be on your Wi-Fi, the same Wi-Fi as your computer is connected to. Now your computer doesn't have to be connected to the Wi-Fi, it just needs to be connected to the same network. Osuka Okada, thank you for visiting me. Very much so. Osuka Okada. So, okay, once you've typed in the same IP address, don't put a check mark in enable audio, and do not leave the check mark in deactivate when not showing. Get rid of that and then hit OK. In fact, yes. Actually, pardon me, hit activate. He said. Well, let's try this for a moment. Is there some reason I should have a problem? Or do you just hate me so? Oh, yeah. That's got nothing to do with DroidCam. Did you see it? Your IP address is critical. Try to get it right. Pretty important. Wingy dingy. Okay, phone's attached. So here's the setup as I have it. I have a triple screen kind of thing. There's the coin we've been looking at. Mouse and whatnot. The screen, the screen, the screen. Microphone, microphone, microphone. There's the Grand Tour. Now I'm going to put this thing into phone cam mode, which means I'm putting it on the table in front of us. And now I can put a coin here. And now I'm going to put the coin centered on my phone's screen the way I want to see it on the phone. Actually, that one's a little bit harder to see. We'll use the big queen here. So she's got a face like this. So I'm going to hit the OK button on this box here because everything we need to do here is done. On my phone, where I've got it sitting on my desk looking down, and underneath it, where I put the coin is actually facing head up to me, the way I want to see it. So because I can clearly see you do not see it that way, here's what we're going to do. First, just for the sake of visuals, we're going to make this bigger. Now notice, we've got three things on the screen now. There's me over here, wherever the hell I am, over here. I'm still right behind here. There's the coin, it's right over here. And there's still the desk cam, that's over here. So now we're working with three elements. We've just now started with OBS. We've got three things on the screen, and we know how to move each one of them and size each one of them, but what do we do with this thing that's lying on its side? Now, yeah, I could just reach out here and turn it, but you'll find that that's super counterintuitive as you start to do presentation. You'll really want to put the coin in the orientation that suits you, and have it show the right way on the internet. Having to turn it a way that looks weird to you to make sure it shows up right for the internet will never make you happy. So that being said, here we go with the feature that we need to use to fix this. Now, here's another thing too. As I move over here, you can see the frames from the other pictures showing up. They could be affected if I click on them. So what I'm going to do is, I only really want to affect the one that's DroidCam OBS. So I'm going to lock the other two. So now nothing I do can affect them at all now that I've lit their locks. And this is the only thing that I can move or mess with basically at all. Now, I will say this. I've had a lot of fun and a lot of good times with DroidCam and DroidCam OBS. I've even paid for the subscription, which was $8, so I would encourage you to do that if you decide you're going to use it. But for some reason, it's been blipping on and off lately. I think it's a known issue. I don't know if they're going to fix it. I sure hope they do, because it really is quite awesome. That being said, going back to manipulating this box with the coin in it, we're going to right click on it and bring up a list of wonderful things we can do. But we're going to use transform. And clearly, rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise, CCW, with CW obviously meaning clockwise, right? So we're going to go counterclockwise, and look, now we've got the thing facing the right way. Now it's not well framed, but guess what? We're going to go back 15 minutes and we are going to use what class? Cropping. Get to the corner, hold the button down, click the mouse, crop the frame. Drag the box, go to the corner, get the arrows, press the Alt button, click the mouse, crop the frame. We're going to make a little fine adjustment here. And once again, now we have our coin cam able to show things off. Now let's put this coin under there. Look at that. 1 cent from Canada, 1913. A beautiful coin that I got recently. Not too shabby, boys. All right. Okay. So now we have one scene, this one, with these 3 elements in them. And clearly, this is not going to be the way I'm going to present myself throughout my whole live stream. Times you want, you know, your face, and sometimes you don't. And so I'm going to put this thing in the corner. Put baby in the corner. I'm going to unlock the other 2 views. Now sometimes I don't sit perfectly centered, so I'm just going to move my own picture over like that. I'm going to make this one as big as I can in this area that I'm giving up here. And then I'm going to lock it all down. Okay, so there's scene 1. It's an opening scene of me, whatever coin I feel like showing off live, and my hands if maybe I'm opening a roll. Maybe there are new cool coins to come, who knows, right? So now we want to go to the coin cam. We want to get the close-up. We don't want to share one, section of the screen with it. What do? Well, yeah, we can unlock the screen. We could grab the corner of the coin cam view and drag it out to whatever size we want. We could do that. But that's not how we're going to do that. We're going to do it like so. First, we're going to start over here in the scenes box. That's right here. It says scenes, and down at the bottom, a very familiar, or you'll get familiar with, the plus and the minus. By the way, the up and the down move things around in the order. So if you have something here and you want to move it up, you can just move it up, or you can move it down in the order. Same thing it's about the layers, right? So going back here, we're going to add something new. We're going to call it the coin cam. Okay. And the scene called coin cam has no elements in it. So we're going to add an element. Now, since the coin cam is a certain specific cam and a feature we've already set up and we were using in the previous scene, when we go here to DroidCam OBS, we see there is an existing instance, and that's the one that we want. Now, if you had more than one Android device, and I've used up to 3 simultaneously, you could set them up in DroidCam and have 3 Android phone-based cameras going on using DroidCam alone. I just don't tonight. So, and I probably won't going forward, but that being said, here we go. This is just the picture coming off of the phone over here. Still turned the wrong way because this is a different instance. you can do different things in different instances. So what's it, a quick click to transform, throw it back to counterclockwise. I have another coin nearby it, but I have no interest in showing off that coin. I'm just going to put this right here in the frame, go to the corner. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to crop it, except this time I'm going to crop it quite close. Same thing with this corner. Oh, sometimes the cropping won't happen. That's cool. And this time, now we got a coin cam going on, right? And now you can, see. Now remember, my coin cam is a Samsung S10 Plus, and it isn't even fully zoomed in. To show off coins at this level, you don't need much more. And if you need more, you're going to have to invest in one of those coin scopes. But here's something to consider. When coins are graded, they don't look at the coin through anything more than a 10 times scope. They don't use 50, 100, 1,000. That's not the way it's done. 10 times is the highest magnification used when a coin its grade is determined. So that's something to take into consideration when you're 500 timesing your new coin, and you see see scratches that maybe wouldn't be such a big deal. 1962 penny. We'll zoom back out a little bit. Now here's another thing. I've been zooming by actually reaching over and touching the phone. If I do this, you can see I'm bumping the phone. Mike Panucci, I didn't mention you, Mike. I'm sorry, and I've seen you for a bit. Thank you, sir, for coming by. I do appreciate it. What a dummy. Okay. What's the size of that coin if you compare it to another coin? I'm sorry, the one you cropped. Going backwards just a little bit here. Well, I was showing a Canadian dollar, so that's the same size as like an Ike. I was showing the Canadian large penny, same size as one of your American early large pennies. So that's the size that other one was. Of course, you're looking at a regular 62 Canadian penny or cent or however you want to call it at this point. And that's, you know what size that is. So hopefully I took care of that question. I don't mean to not answer your questions. That's what it's all about here. If you have any questions about what I've shown you so far in the way that Droid Cam and OBS and StreamYards are working together. Now we've looked at three things, right? You have StreamYards, which a lot of us are already familiar with. You see how OBS using the virtual camera becomes your camera in StreamYards and gives you options for your... The reason why you want to continue to use StreamYards is so you can bring up guests. The reason why you want to stop using StreamYards is if you're not going to bring up guests and you want the highest resolution you can possibly get. And what do I mean by that? I'll tell you. Once you've gone through StreamYards, if you're using the free program and you're using up your 20 hours, your output will be 720p, which is not bad, but it isn't as good as it could be. When you set up StreamYards, you've got to give it your stream key from YouTube. That same stream key can be provided directly here, down here in the settings, in this box over here, and then you can stream directly from OBS to YouTube, but you'll do so at 1080. So you'll have the higher resolution output. So if you're going to be all by yourself with nobody streaming with you and no interest in bringing up a panel, then I would say stream directly from OBS into YouTube. But if you want the ease of running a panel, then absolutely use OBS as a virtual camera and then run that into StreamYards like I'm showing you today. Yes, get OBS from the website, absolutely. OBS, sorry, DroidCam OBS is found in the Play Store. That is correct. We have two things going on, Suka. Firstly, there is OBS Studio, the program for Windows that you're seeing right here, basically. This whole thing right here is OBS Studio. That's used to broadcast. We are using DroidCam OBS in order to use this Android phone, the Samsung S10, as a viable camera and a decent close-up camera in OBS. DroidCam OBS allows us to use Android cameras as webcams. And in this case, I've got another camera that's focused down below because in our hobby, when we open up rolls of coins, we like to show people the rolls, do a little bit of a reveal. So we like to have a way of showing off what's happening down at our hands, as well as our faces. And of course, in the end, a way to show off any coin or anything we would want to show off. That's a silver dollar, Canadian silver dollar. So that's a reasonably large coin. I'm using it because it shows up real good. But here is, oh, something on the screen we don't need. Numismaniac sent me this beautiful 2021 Canadian half that you don't see too often. Oh, let's go to the coin cam, Jim. Let's. And there you go. Now, here's the thing. We'll go back to the other cam for a sec. Notice how I took a second, and I've got this really well centered. But when I go to the coin cam, it's not centered. So we're just going to fix that. I don't like that presentation. So first we'll get to the corner, and we'll change the cropping. Let's get that whole slip right in there, or most of it. And once again over here, deal with the cropping. Nice. And now it's a little bit large, so I'm just going to make it too small for a moment, and then I'm going to drag from the corner here, bam, so it's the right size. Now, since the white part of it isn't really that interesting, I'm going to make the whole thing much bigger and put it right dead center of our picture. Note that the focus isn't perfect. You can tap on your phone screen to get it to focus a little better. It's not a camera made for this. We're just, we're co-opting it to do this work. So it does the best that it can, right? So we go back here, and once again, we have the 3-picture view. Okay, so far so good. We're using OBS as a virtual camera in StreamYards. We're using DroidCam OBS to use the phone that we have in our pocket to do double duty, providing us a nice camera here to show off some cool, well, let's rotate that baby. Send in from our friends in the UK a 50 pence. Nice. To show off some cool coins. What now? Well, guess what? OBS, or a DroidCam OBS, comes with another feature. Can you believe it? Believe it. All I'm going to do is figure out how I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it first. How will I show you this? Okay, you can see that. Okay, so going back to the coin cam from back before, remember when we set it up, it had that IP address. Let's take another quick look at that. There it is right there. So it's 78. Now what I mean by that is it's always 192.168.1. 192.168.1. And the last 2 digits are the only ones that ever change. So I'm looking at it and I go, oh, it's a 78. That's the one it is. So, okay, armed with that knowledge, I'm going to open up or reopen a browser. Okay. Now, I've obviously done this a bunch of times before. So what you would normally have to do, in fact, this is what you do. Right where you would type in an address, you type in 192.168.1.78 and hit enter. He says, hang on. No, I can't type. Be different if I could type to save my life, but you'll see. Well, you know there's nothing special about my style. 7. All I'm going to do is just change that to an 8. That's all I want to do in this whole world. Okay. So if you type in the right line, which is 192.168.1.78/4747, in fact, is all you need to do, and remote, I guess. Do it like it says right there, I guess. You know, sometimes I'm not so smart. It gives you this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this last box here, which is a pop-out. And then I'm going to close this whole other window. And now I have this weird looking pop-out. Guess what it does? Anybody have any idea? Anybody in the class? Class? Oh! Check out one for airplanes, insurance purposes, physical therapy. Oh, hey, Mike, geez. Well, hopefully everything's good, bro. Physical therapy is important in the shoulder issue. Oh, shoulders, ow. Bone spurs, ooh. Well, thanks for the work that you did in the past, man. Whatever you've done in the past is what you know, sacrifice the body, you know. I never did, so feel bad for you, bro, but thank you. So going back to this, what I do know, in some way I can actually be of some sort of help. Oh, I just bumped up myself? Is that what I did? Okay. I thought there was a ghost. Okay, going back to this. Now remember, all I did was open up a Google Chrome. I typed in the IP address of the DroidCam camera, and then when it opened, I used the pop-out. This would close the pop-out. It's the shape of a stop sign. So I hit the button for the pop-out, I closed the main window, and now what I've got here is the ability to remotely control the camera. That is the phone. The first thing is the camera/phone's light. Then there's the white balance, which I currently have, auto. Then there's the auto focus, including manual. So with manual focus, guess what? Better than most webcams. Where do you get the chance to even mess with the focus on so many webcams these days? So we'll try to tune that up as best we can. Let's just say right there for now, because I want you to get the idea, right? That's what's important. You got your EL, which is exposure lock. So if you find, and I'm going to call people out, not because I think that the way they do things is blah, 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 but because they're an example. Can uses a webcam. I think it's on his laptop. As he fades in and out, the lighting on him changes enough that the webcam's exposure is constantly zooming in and out on him, darkening and lightening the scene. It drives a person's eyes a little wonky after a while. I wish I could watch them longer, but I literally sometimes can't. It's the same thing as audio static to me to see that. If a camera is constantly searching for focus, that's another thing, drives me nuts. So, and it drives other people nuts too. You know, when you're watching somebody who's done a show from their webcam and it's constantly searching for focus, that's a deal breaker. So when your cameras are in manual focus, they're not searching for focus. So exposure level. So you've got some manual control over some of these fine camera controls like exposure level. And finally, zoom. Full control over the zoom. All of this in DroidCam. The money that it cost was $8. $8. Did I say $8? I meant $8. How many cameras can you hook up? How many old Android phones can you make into a camera? It's unlimited. So yeah, DroidCam. Can't help but say good things about the product, even when it's not working as perfectly as it had in the past. But as you can see, it's working quite good for us right now. So who am I to whatever, right? We're closing in on an hour, and I've shown you some of the basics. And honestly, I don't know a lot more. I figured out how to put a banner. I figured out how to get like a video playing. There's a few other things that you can learn, certainly. I mean, there's a million other things to learn. But I wanted to show you this. Use use OBS as your webcam in StreamYards. If you need a mobile camera, a portable camera, even a close-up camera, use your own pocket phone. There's even an app. There's an app for you know, there's an app for Apple for this. It's just not this one. Do a little searching. I'm only showing you what I do. I don't know how other people do it, right? I don't know. I don't know. Lovely Queen. Queen forever. She was Queen in 2010. Look at that beautiful thing. You see this? It's 1966 this is. And look at the beautiful Queen. She was the Queen then, she was the Queen now. There she is upside down. Oh, sacrilege. There she is. The lovely Queen. Oh, young Queen as we call her. Long may she live, but of course, to everything there will be an end, including me and including this. Oh, it just now did a little fart. Okay, see, there it goes. So it disconnected and reconnected there, all on its own. Well, if you're going to be a queen, you might as well be a queen like Elizabeth. I mean, if you're going to do it, that's how you do it, right? 5 people, thank you for coming. Pretty much wrapping it up now. I'm thinking if there's anything that I would really want to share with you on sort of day 1. And I want you to answer. I'm here also to ask any questions. That was part of wanting to do this live, was I was kind of hoping that we could have a forum where if you actually had a question. So let's set up another scene, okay? It's not one thing, it's another. It's so true, isn't it, Jack? Okay, so now we have a coin cam view, all right? We have the me view. Okay, so let's take a look at this quickly. It still says scene 1. I don't want this to say scene 1 anymore because I'm going to rename it and it's going to be me. So I'm just going to call it me. And then the other thing I'm going to do with it is have some fun with it and need a second. I have to get it into well, filter, screenshot scene, order. All right, never mind. Okay, so we have the me, we have the coin cam. What we don't have is a desk view. So now we're just going to add the desk view. So let's go ahead and type in desk view, V-I-E-W. Okay, it doesn't matter that I can't spell. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey, Osuka Okada, thank you for identifying. Appreciate you coming, I really do. I'm sure there's lots of people over in Discord know way more about this than I do. But, cool. Wait! He says, wait! Alright, so I've made a new scene. It's called Desk View, but there's no view in Desk View. The mighty desk viewers have struck out. But let's do something about that. We need to add an element to the desk view, and you know it has to be the camera, so that it's a video capture device, but we don't need to add a new one, because that view that we want is already established. It's one of the two existing views, and I think it's this top one. So let's hit it, see what happens. Yep, that's the desk view. Now, once again, we have the full desk view. How do we know? Red borders. So long as you see red borders, you know you've got the full view in view. So we're going to get to, now notice there's a certain amount of fisheye lensing going on these cheap webcams, and my desk pad is not curved the way you see it here in this picture. So that's pretty distorted. Just to get rid of the way that looks, I'm going to crop that out by grabbing the corner and cropping the picture down. And then same thing here where the desk comes into view. I don't like it, so I'll just crop that out and then drag that whole big picture bigger. Now that means part of it is hanging off the sides, but I don't care. All I really wanted to do was get this picture going on, right? So that I could say, hey, we got some mail today from someone. Oh, okay. And to that end, let's do a mail call, mail reveal, crap it and crop it, crop it and crap it, crop it. Gotta go. Thanks, Jack. He's probably at work. He's a hard worker, that Mr. Gallman, I'll tell you. Okay, so in a recent trade, a very successful trade with my friend Opus Singer, we have a 1987 set of a proof set, or mint set, pardon. I got the hiccups. A mint set. Not a proof set, not a whatcha. It's a this set. And this is the one with the D, which is kind of cool because they include a little copper in here and they punch it with the D so you know it came from the D mint. And that's part of one of the wonderful parts of what Mr. Opus Singer has sent my way. And of course, then the next part is from the P mint, and is of course carrying the P mint copper, which again is so cool. I wish the Canadian ones had done that. That's pretty neat. Mind you, we don't have the multiple mints, I guess, so that doesn't really come into play. So that was part of it. And I guess he decided that it wouldn't really be complete, you know, having those, if he didn't send along an actual proof set, never mind the mint set. So here's a beautiful proof coin set with all the nomenclature that goes with it, the COA as they say, le seal d'approval. A lot of lights going on here. Makes it hard to show this stuff off. And that's what you'll find too. You'll want to get the right lighting, but part of that will be dealing with reflections, because they are a bugger. Anyway, so a little reveal as part of all of this. Thanks again, opus, we will do some investigation and maybe even do a little essay on some of the background of some of these things. We're Canadian, and so we don't know a lot of stuff about these, except for that there are coins I wouldn't normally get my chance to own because my LCS doesn't exist anymore. It's a hobby shop. I can get some things, but they're not coin related, you know what I'm saying? So that's it. We have now established 3 scenes. We have an opening scene. Now, I have a coin scene and I have a desk scene. So I don't really need these things anymore. So I'm going to turn off the coins, and I'm going to turn off Capture 2. That's this one. I'm going to make this one that's still here up to the top so nothing else can override it. And I'm going to unlock it so I can make it. Remember, it's got 4 reds, so that means I can't. It's the full frame. There's nothing to make any bigger. I can make this bigger to make my head even larger. Maybe not. But there's no way to expand the picture per se. There's no more left and right. So we would just maybe put it like that. Close enough. Will I ever collect coins outside of, are you kidding? Of course I would. And I do. And we do. I have got, I've got mainly Canadian coins. I have those that I have that are from other places are pretty much for my collection, not to trade necessarily, because I pretty much don't have doubles of the things like that I've got. But let me show you a couple of things. Now, I like to trade and I do sell. So these are the kinds of things I put together for sale at times. Let's see here. So this is one of those very simple, speaking of, bring up the remote. No, that is as zoomed back as I can do. Wow. Let me just see something here. Little changeroo. Okay, I see what I see there. Now if I go back here. Okay, that's much wider. Now what I just did was, let me just get it dealt with here quickly and then I'll tell you all. Nice. Good old Samsung S10 has more than one camera facing back. And I just got into the Droid Cam. You have to quit Droid Cam in order to reopen it. And then you can choose which camera it's going to use. So I switched to the other one in the back. So Canada has a $1 coin called the Loonie, and a number of commemorative coins have been issued. They are, let me just try this here. Actually, no, I'm not going to touch the phone. I'm going to use what's right there on the screen that I showed you guys. And then, once this is here, let's just see if we can get something better happening. I'm just going to use the tap focus, actually. I'm going to tap it. I wouldn't say that's getting any better, honestly. No, I wouldn't. There, let me try some stuff. I can change the camera from here. Look at that. The list is here, but I've also lost the ability to choose to focus. That's not a feature on this camera. I can zoom back farther, but I cannot focus. I have white balance, but we were on this camera before. Okay, well, fair enough. By the way, it's telling us the state of charge. It's plugged in right now. Hey, John Chum. And it says 100 right here. That's just letting us know state of charge of the phone as we speak. And we can actually put that a little bit further to the side here. So, auto exposure, EV, zoom. I wish I could get it to focus better. That's as focused as it wants to be. And I guess that's the downside of that camera. So this is a set of tunings, as I was saying. And we can take a look at it. I'll switch the camera in a moment, but that's all of these are commemorative dollars. Up to this one here is the very first one that was has paint on it as a $1 coin. So very cool. Canada has a number of $2 coins. A lot of different commemorative ones for one reason or another, but for our 150th anniversary of Canada, we had a glow-in-the-dark $2 coin. And then throughout the years, we've had different commemoratives that have had painted features on them, right from, this is the latest one actually. This one celebrates insulin. And here are some with some Canadian Indigenous art. So these are some really nice coins. Here's one with a helmet of a soldier celebrating D-Day, or sorry, yeah, D-Day. Yes, of course it's D-Day. So these are some of the really cool commemorative ones that we can take a closer look at using the coin cam. But so Canada's got all of these really cool commemorative coins as well. Now we've just recently sent or issued a new commemorative coin that I have somewhere. I'm not sure where. Oh boy, I'm making a mess. You know what? I'm not sure about that right now, but let's just do this. That's the one everybody would like to have in their collection, because that is the glow in the dark. You know what? And so when you're not using real cameras, you are making certain. There we go. Much better. Yeah, that's a much better camera. And now I have the focus. Look at that. That's the trick, right? Yeah, that's the trick. You want to stick with this camera, much better. So depending on the phone you've got, I just got the Klondike ones. That's the one I was mentioning. I've got some glow-in-the-darks, trying to put them together into sets for people. Just looking around here a little bit, see what else is. Oh, right. Oh, damn. Hang on, kids. Wow, every now and then you really catch a break. Okay, I almost forgot. Thank you for the reminder. It's time to do some actual mail. Letters. We get letters. We get lots and lots of letters. And I have letters. I have letters. Where the hell are the damn letters? Come on. Hang on. There are letters. There really are letters. Okay. Letters. Letters. No. Other camera view, please. Thank you. Letters. We get letters. We get lots and lots of letters. We do. John, I used to get no letters until I joined this community, and ever since I have, I managed to either be in the right place at the right time, or somebody takes pity on me. I don't know what happens, but things come in the mail, and I love you. Thank you all for mailing me things. In this case, Santa Claus himself is involved. That's right. If you don't know Santa, start hanging around with us and you'll meet him. He's a personal friend. And he had sent me an early Christmas present, a set of the Klondikes, a brand new painted and unpainted Klondike. And that was cool, except that Opus had just sent me a box full of stuff, and I mean a huge box, like, oh my God, biggest box I ever received. And so that was a problem because what I was going to send Opus back was not a huge box, like not a huge box at all. So before I sent it, I huged it up some, and one of the things about huging it up was I had to send them my only Klondike Looney and unpainted Looney. So I reached out to Santa and I said, Santa, I know you just sent me this wonderful gift, but I need to send it to somebody else. I don't want to sound like I'm hedging my bets, Santa, but if there's another one on your end, I'd sure like it. I would hate to be without. And Santa said, don't sweat it, man. You don't need to be without. Not only that, I'm going to back you up with the painted version, the unpainted version, and we're going to back it up with another 21 50-cent piece for good measure, just because I've been a good boy. So, Numismaniac, thank you as always. I'm going to say your name even though it's Santa and we all know it, but it's important that you get the accolades you deserve for being the dude that you are. And I'm just looking for my sharp knife now. I forget where oh, there it is. Hang on. I'm going to move something. The microphone. I changed everything about Dimebag World Headquarters recently. And so things aren't always exactly where they used to be. You know what I mean? When you move something and you thought, I'm putting it away, and you realize you put it away in a place where you forget where it is. Does that ever happen to you, or is that only me? Let's take a good look at that. Beautiful thing. Where's my coin cam? Please. There it is. Okay, so what are we going to do? Nobody needs it that size. We want to look in. So we're going to find the corner, get our mouse on it, press and hold Alt, click the mouse button, and crop. Once we're down to the corner there, we're going to move this up. Same thing. First we move the mouse to the corner and get the double arrows. Then we press and hold the Alt button. Then we click on the mouse and we crop. And now we move this to the middle. And we can just drag it larger. That means not holding the Alt button. Alt button is for cropping. And now it's a little bit blurry. So let's just see if we can get something out of this manual adjustment. Maybe we can get something a little bit prettier going on. There's a little bit of lag. Let's try some light. Now, light is always your number one go-to if you're having any problem with anything. You've got to have good light to start with. You can't really get anywhere without it. Oops. In the end, I guess what this sort of says is, I mean, there's no substitute for the best, right? If you wanted to show this off as best as possible, you would use, you know, some sort of a coin scope or something, right? Now I'm touching the phone again. Ooh, and it's having a conniption. Come on, phones, restart. There we go. Macro tap. Macro means close up, if I remember correctly. I think physically having the coin reasonably close to the phone is good. Having it well lit is important. Okay, so again, we just click on desk view, go back to freeing up these other lovely coins. I will be trying to liberate some of these out of circulation. These coins I have been given have come directly from a roll that was never circulated. But here at Dimebag Darren, we don't buy uncirculated rolls. We find them coin roll hunting. If you're looking for somebody who's got uncirculated rolls, be prepared to pay more. And, you know, they make quite a business of it. They buy those rolls for a premium, and they're definitely not, you know, moving them along without a profit that's reasonable, because that's what the business is, right? Pre-buy rolls and then sell off singles. Not what we're up to here. Don't really care about that much. All right. I honestly think on other nights I've had better luck with the quality of the camera-ing. So that's the unpainted version of the same Klondike coin that we were looking at earlier. Nice. Oh boy. Okay. Well, once again, thank you, Patrick, the Numismaniac, aka Santa. Please visit the Numismaniac. Look him up on YouTube. If you're not already subscribed, if you want to stay in Santa's good on the good books, I would not miss out if I were you. But I think I've done what I want to do. So to recap, we talked about how you get started streaming. You go ahead and sign up for StreamYard and get 20 hours worth of free streaming every month. It's all you need to get started. And then start tuning in to the streamers that help. Now, that's Epos Vox. E-P-O-S, new word, V-O-X. Epos Vox is the streaming professor, and he'll help you learn a lot of stuff. Okay? Then, Michael Fryer. Michael F. You know what? Hang on a sec. hate getting stuff wrong. I hate it. I hate getting stuff really wrong, but I'm so good at it. I hate it. I hate getting stuff really wrong, but they say go with your strengths, and I said I don't want to. I want to look it up for myself. Jeff Crumpler is live right now. He's a good dude. These guys here, Jay Smith, he's, I guess, done streamed 15 minutes ago. They're very good. Love those guys. What was I doing here? Oh, God, my brain doesn't work. What was I doing here? What did I want to do? I wanted to show you my... No. Oops. I'm having a brain fart. What was I about to do? Oh, right. Michael Fryer. Well, let's do them all. First, EPOS Vox. This is the guy that'll help you with a lot of hardware, and the hardware is all about streaming. So when it comes to learning about streaming and stuff, definitely check out EPOS Vox. He is the stream professor. If you need to learn about microphones, you want to do a really nice job and pro up that sound, you're going to invest in serious microphones and whatnot, here's the man. This is the dude. He knows what it's all about, podcast stage, and his name is Bandrew, not Andrew, Bandrew, okay? And when it comes to microphones and interfaces, you want to check with Bandrew, all right? The other person does mainly interfaces. Right there. Julian Krause. If you want something picked apart with German accuracy, then Julian Krause is your man. He will look at these interfaces and let you know right to the dot, squat, and tittle exactly what it's all about. If they're noisy, if they're not noisy, if they're expensive, and how they compare to all the others in the market with a great big graph. You cannot miss. I have my favorite interface right now is the PreSonus Revelator 24i, but no matter what kind of a unit you need to find out about, chances are he's covered it. I'm actually looking to see if he's got it here. Here's the Studio 24C from PreSonus, but that's a whole year ago. So 1 week ago, no, he hasn't done it recently. So again, I really like this Revelator 24i. So since that's the case, and I can't get any information from Julian, I would be checking podcast stage. Go back to Bandrew. Click on the search. Now it just so happens I know he did one, so I'm just going to search it out like this. Oh, really? That's not true. I'm sure he covered it. Okay, I got brain damage, that's fine. As you can see, the coverage is microphones and such. And because I'm going to prove that I don't have brain damage, let's go to EPOS Vox, the stream professor. Where is it? All right. just because I want you to see the
This
thing.
is the PreSonus Revelator IO24.
There we go. So the Persona Revelator IO24. This is the thing that I'm talking about. IO24, not 24i. It's pretty cool, and you should check this out. I won't be playing any more of his stream, but that's a thing. What else? You know what? We just crossed an hour and a half. I think I'm done. I didn't see any more questions really popping up, so I'm good that way. And I hope you guys had a good time. I'm going to leave this one up, maybe with a little editing, in hopes it will be useful to others. Because if you want to stream, the most important thing is to stream. Like when I started this stream earlier tonight, it was Gong Show. The moment, 2 minutes before I was going to start streaming, my wife called me into the kitchen to cook. And so then right after I was done cooking, it was time to eat. And so I just rescheduled the stream like 3 times because it's easy not to stream. That's the easiest thing to do, right? Something got in the way, or somebody else is already streaming, or Joe Blow does it so much better, or whatever it happens to be. That's not the reason not to stream. I want you to go ahead and hit the button. Just do it. You got nothing to lose, and they can't stop you. It's the beauty of it. They can't stop you. So hit the button, do the things that I've shown you so far, and the next time I have a tutorial stream, be here again and tell your friends. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in coins or tech, because I'm all about both. And thank you again for being part of my stream this evening and for watching this in restream afterwards. I'm Dimebag Darren coming at you live from Dimebag Darren World Headquarters in the corner of my living room. Thank you again.